What do you think of when someone mentions mental illness? What is the image that appears in your head? Most likely, you thought of some personas that look a little like this. However, those with mental illness can look a little like this. With 1 in 5 U.S. adults living with a mental illness, or 1 in 3 college students, there are a lot of individuals that are struggling with mental health, especially in your own classes.
Growing up, mental health was not something that was talked about in my family. We would say that anxiety was a myth, depression was a myth, and praying was the answer to all the problems. I would never bring up depression or my mental health because I felt like all I had to do was go to school and get good grades. My first panic attack was in college. After several nights of studying for my math final, I broke down crying on my dorm room floor. The stress and anxiety had culminated to a point that I didn't understand what I was feeling or why I felt it.
My first panic attack occurred when I was about 15 or 16 years old. Around this age, I started experiencing occasional, random, harmless heart palpitations. Perhaps I was drinking too much coffee, or maybe I was just growing up. Either way, one day in my parents' bedroom, I became just a little too aware of my own, what I perceived to be, irregular heartbeat. Something just felt off. What was this weird feeling in my chest? Did my heart just skip a beat? Why is it suddenly so hard to breathe?
There were a lot of times I'd become very panicked without any reason to be. I'd become very scared. There was definitely a feeling of dread. I felt like the world was going to end in 5 minutes and I could do nothing about it. To combat this feeling, I started to turn to alcohol. When I drank, everything felt easier. I felt happier and I was better at socializing.
I never actually knew that something was a problem, and I've had symptoms since I was very, very young. I remember when I was little, I had really bad recurring dreams that I was helpless in some way, and I thought that was normal. And I had other symptoms that manifested probably when I was around 4 or 5. Just general feelings of helplessness or impending doom.
From the outside looking in, I'm not someone you would have expected to have dealt with depression. My story of depression occupied about half of the past year. It was a period of time where I felt a general sense of unhappiness and discontent. Nothing seemed to be good enough or taste good anymore. The grass was greener everywhere around me, but nowhere I was. I felt myself wanting to pull away from all the good things I had in my life. Friendships, work, my relationships, and activities that normally made me happy. I was ready to drop them all. I was done fighting my inner demons that tried to hold me down, and I was so tired of fighting. I felt I was a burden and saw no other way out of it.
I knew I needed help, but asking for it just made me feel like a burden. Cheer up was the worst thing anyone said to me. Those 2 words triggered thousands of horrible thoughts, and I was beating myself up for not hiding how I felt well enough from everyone around me. When the cycle begins, nobody feels comfortable hearing about depression or suicide, and then the depressed individual hides their pain, fearing judgment, embarrassment, or being labeled. However, you shouldn't feel guilty for feeling the way you do, because depression is an illness like any other. It isn't any more self-centered than having a broken leg. We are so accepting of other parts of our bodies breaking. Why can't we be that way about our minds too?
With so many individuals experiencing these types of challenges, it is important to show kindness and be understanding to those around you. Take time to listen and empower those who you know have mental health struggles. However, since you don't always know who is struggling, be kind anyway. If you are someone that struggles with mental health, do not self-stigmatize yourself. Or in other words, do not associate yourself with the public stigmas or stereotypes by applying these ideas to yourself. There are resources out there for you to reach out to, along with friends and family who can support you. Mental Health America is a great resource to start, especially if you don't feel comfortable reaching out to those around you. This organization has screenings, referrals, experts, and other resources to help you if you're struggling. Otherwise, there are also mental health hotlines that can help you through your situation. As a college student, there are counseling services on campus that are free of charge. To find more information, locate your university's counseling website.